Hey guys, welcome back. So quick update here on the price of Bitcoin BTC. I'm not going to be paying too much attention to the altcoins for the time being. I'm not really interested in Bitcoin Cash right now or Litecoin or any other altcoin until Bitcoin dominance makes the targets at around 66 or 67%. This was my last update on the Bitcoin dominance when it was breaking bullish here. So until Bitcoin dominance makes the target here or it's approaching the targets, I'm not going to become interested in the altcoins again. But this time will come. We just need to be patient here. So regarding Bitcoin BTC, the first thing I want to point out here is the 20-month moving average, which is the red moving average here. This is going to be resistance. I mean, this is a very long-term moving average. We actually made it exactly to touch the 20-month moving average. If you can see here, the price just exactly touched the moving average at $7,000 and now is retracing. We are back at around 6,800 more or less. So I expect to find a little bit of turbulence here, but nothing serious. I just think it's going to take a little bit longer to break above this moving average, but I don't expect any crazy correction or anything like that. But I'm on the monthly candles. Of course, if you drop down to the 5-minute candles, you will see this is huge. These are actually huge swings in volatility here. But on the big scale, I just wanted to give the warning here that we are just approaching the 20-month moving average, and it's always dangerous to buy right at these strong resistances. Now, for example, if you're trading the smaller time frames like the 15 minutes or the 1 hour or the 4 hours, if you buy now near 7,000, your stop loss is going to be hit. But if you are able to handle the volatility and you don't sell or you don't use a stop loss or your stop loss is very wide, then you'll probably get away with it, because I expect this to break bullish eventually after when it finishes fighting here with this 20-month moving average. Okay, moving on. I released this update yesterday on my website for members. You can pause the video and read all this if you want to know all the reasons as for why I said here that we were still bullish. The price was at 6,200 or 6,300 when I posted this update. It's been like 1.5 days ago, more or less. So you can see here all the reasons I gave as for why I think we're still bullish here. And one of the reasons, you can see it here, the leverage shorts here, is this, right? If you look at the Bitcoin shorts versus longs, you see that the shorts were really, really high, really extended, and the longs were almost at the all-time lows. So now, in these past 24 hours, now is when longs are starting to go up, but they're still not even at an average level. They are still very, very low. So this tells me that the FOMO is only starting. The FOMO is only starting, and the FOMO will finish probably when these shorts are all the way up here. The longs, when the leverage longs are at least above the average, at least above this middle level here. I don't think the pump is going to finish with the longs being still all the way down here. I think the longs need to go above the average before we get a serious correction or a crash. The shorts are starting to crash right now. That's fine, but I'm paying more attention to the longs because I'm trying to calculate the amount of FOMO in these markets. And the FOMO is only, according to this chart, according to my personal readings, the FOMO is only getting started. The FOMO will finish when the leverage longs are well above the average. So we have a long way to go here, in my opinion. Another thing I wanted to point out is this. I shared this yesterday on my Telegram groups, and it's about this massive volume resistance that we see on the volume profile that you see many people talking about on YouTube. For example, here the Crypto Sniper made a video a few days ago. Really good video, guys. Go and watch it if you haven't. If you're able to stick for the half an hour that this video lasts, it's a little bit intense, but if you make it through the half an hour here and you listen with your ears open, I can tell you you're going to be a better trader after you watch this video, because it's really good and really informative. But I want to talk about this volume profile that we see here, the huge resistance of volume that we have at around between 6K and 6,400 more or less. Everybody's talking about this huge volume resistance on all across YouTube. The reason this resistance it wasn't as hard as everybody was expecting, including myself, until yesterday when I had this aha moment. When I had this aha moment, Bitcoin price was still at 6,200 or 6,300, and I said, hey guys, I think this massive volume resistance from the volume profile won't be as hard as we've been expecting. And the reason is because most of this volume here comes at this level between 6 and 6.4K, comes from the hash war. The volume at 6 or 6.4K, the big volume came here at the moment of the breakdown. And it was caused because of these huge wallets. They needed to sell all this crypto to pay for the hash power to finance the hash war. And you can see this very clearly. I had someone in my group say, when I shared this, someone said, hey, well, okay, but what about the 5 months that Bitcoin was holding at 6K before the hash war? We had volume there as well, you know. We had the 6K, it's not significant only because of the hash war, but the price was holding here for such a long time before the hash war. So what about that? Is this not strong support? Well, not when it comes to volume. If you see here all these months that Bitcoin held here at 6K, look how low the volume was. If you add up all this volume for all these months, it's probably the same amount of volume that we had here at the moment of the breakdown. You see this massive volume at the breakdown here? This is a lot of volume. I'm not saying that all this volume here on the volume profile comes from the hash war 100%, no. But if only half of this volume comes from the hash war, this means that if the hash war never happened, the volume here would be just half, half the length, half the size, which means it's not such a strong resistance. Guys, I don't talk fundamentals when to predict price. You never hear me talk fundamentals to predict price, but the hash war event is an event that needs to be factored in when it comes to price analysis and especially to volume analysis. You need to factor that in, just like there's a few other events that you need to factor in when you try to predict price. For example, the halving or the halvening or whatever you call it in English. The halving, it affects the supply directly, and if it affects the supply directly, it's going to affect price. So these types of huge events need to be factored in when you're trying to predict price. And the hash war event really needs to be taken into account when you're doing price and volume analysis here. So most of this volume, I understand most of this volume comes from the hash war. It's not just like I think it comes. It's like you can see the data here. There was no volume at 6K here for all these months, and all this volume comes from the breakdown right at the exact minutes when the hash war took place. So if we remove the hash war from history, and if the hash war never happened, it means this volume would be only half the size, which means it's not going to be such a strong resistance unless we have another hash war, but it's not the case, right? So that's why I was yesterday when the price was still at 6,300 or so, I was like, guys, 6,400 won't be such a strong resistance level to break. And that was exactly the case. I wish I would have had time to make a video before this breakout, but it was late at night here. So I just updated on Telegram for my guys here. And I actually shared this on Twitter as well. So follow me on Twitter if you want to be up to date with this type of signals in real time. Because it's so easy to make a tweet, you know, instead of making a full video. Alright, so I wanted to finish this video with what I think the price is going to do moving forward. And for this, I'm going to show this tweet that I just shared 3 hours ago. So yeah, guys, again, follow me on Twitter if you want to be up to date. If you're really interested in my analysis, you're going to find a lot more charts on Twitter than on YouTube, because I don't make videos like, you know, every 5 minutes, but I tweet and every time something happens. Or you can also follow me on the free Telegram channel, which the link is down below. So what I think the price is going to do moving forward, well, first, remember about the 20-month moving average. We're finding resistance here for the very short term, but I think it will eventually break above it and do something like this. Actually, let me read the tweet first. I don't usually talk fundamentals to predict price, but the hash war is one event that needs to be factored in, like the halving of few other things. I think when people finishes FOMOing, the price will crash to 7K or so, and that will be our new bottom accumulation, pre-hash war trend line. And you can see this on this chart here. So I expect this FOMO to continue here. Actually, as I said before when I showed the shorts and longs, I think FOMO is only starting. So I think the FOMO is only starting here. So I think there's a lot more FOMO to come in. One thing I want to clarify here, I don't expect 14K to be made. I wasn't, when I was drawing this, I wasn't looking at the price. This is not a target, guys. I don't think it'll go that high. All I was trying to draw something like parabolic move, you know, people FOMOing parabolic move and then eventually crash and consolidate at around 7K more or less, because this is the trend line where the price was consolidating before the hash war. So, which means if the hash war never happened, we would probably be following this line. And that's why I think this is the line where we will crash and use as a support and consolidate there. This is, as it stands right now, is what I think it's more likely to happen. But of course, anything can change. This is, you know, somewhat a long-term prediction. So if anything changes, you know, in this time, I would be updating. But this is what I think it's more likely to happen, yeah, for the medium to a little bit longer term here. That was all I wanted to share for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.